Today, the Sacramento Children's Home is the longest-standing nonprofit in Sacramento, with the most comprehensive range of programs serving children and families. But 150 years ago, things looked very different. The Pony Express had just given way to the telegraph and the railroad. The population was skyrocketing, including that of homeless children living on the riverbanks. The community needed a solution. The Sacramento Protestant Orphan Asylum was built on L and 18th Streets and was soon packed with over 200 kids. We don't hear terms like orphanage or asylum much anymore. As the times have changed, we have too. In many ways, this is the true story of the Sacramento Children's Home. By the turn of the century, the home was moved to a 32-acre piece of farmland nearby, where the children enjoyed more space and a healthier atmosphere. The Great War brought hardship and many abandoned children, so the home adapted by creating the Stork's Nest, where young children received excellent care. During the Second Great War, the Sutterville Day Nursery was a boon to mothers who needed to work while their husbands were away serving their country. The post-war years saw many improvements. The children experienced new activities and forms of entertainment, new facilities. They enjoyed camping trips, even new computers. But what came next was the most transformative phase of all.
Through our history, our common theme is to build family strengths. And how that is accomplished has evolved over the years. In the 60s, we started moving far more towards a treatment model. And then later in the early 70s, early 80s, the Sacramento Children's Home started moving towards a prevention model to keep children out of institutional care.
The Children's Home's always been an agency, an organization that's responded to the needs of the community. So if that need was to be an orphanage, then we provided an orphanage. If that need was to provide special education services, then we were providing special education services. So I think the key has always been really listening to what's going on in the community and what children and families in the community need, and being able to respond in a way that is supportive and provides a service to help solve a need.
What I've learned personally is that these families ultimately want what's best for their children. They really do. They want the best. They just don't always have the tools to get there, and I think it's our job to provide them with those tools, and it's our job to do that service to them and give them an understanding. Whether they use those tools in the future or they use them now is totally up to them, but I think we make an impact no matter if we work with them for one day or for 1 year.
On average, we serve over 6,000 children and over 4,600 families each and every year through a really wide spectrum of programs and services across 8 locations. I've seen young men that have come to us after being in probably the most vulnerable and traumatic moment of their life, then walk out of here stronger young men that are able to take the world on. I've seen mothers that have come to us at a time of crisis that we've helped to work through that crisis.
The group home changed me in ways that I thought only a real parent could do. When I turned 16, it was during Labor Day weekend. My mom got mad because I didn't do something the way that she wanted it, and it became real abusive where she tried to stab me and I ran away. And that was kind of the end of my personal home. When I came here, it was just a lot of attention and affection, and like they helped me grow into the young man that I am today. And I feel like if I wasn't here or I didn't come here, I would not be in the same situation or in the same kind of like mindset that I am now. The reasons I really, really love this place and I will do anything for this place is because of the experiences that I've had. They've been positive. They've empowered me to grow.
So life is right on track for me. I thought it was all planned out. And then I found myself unexpectedly pregnant. Then my boyfriend lost his job. I got sick and had to drop out of school. So my world all of a sudden fell apart and I didn't know what I was going to do. And it was a really scary time in my life. 9 months later, my daughter made her arrival. And unfortunately, it wasn't a time of celebration. I suffered immediately from severe postpartum depression. Felt very alone very scared. I was so desperate. I found myself on the front step in tears, in my pajamas, at the crisis nursery. They say it takes a village to raise a child, and I wholeheartedly believe that. But not everyone's village looks the same. So I didn't have the grandmas and the uncles and the aunties like most families do. But what I did have was the crisis nursery. I had a staff that cared. I had a case manager. I had people that constantly stayed involved in our lives, even when we weren't accessing the crisis nursery. They made us feel like family, and we still mattered. And I just want people to know that there's these wonderful resources out there, and to take advantage of them. They're there, and I'm so grateful, not only that I was able to benefit from their services, but to give back in any way I can in appreciation for all that they've done for me and all the other families that are in need of support.
For 150 years, the Sacramento Children's Home has made a great difference in the lives of children and the health of the community, and we're as vital as ever. As long as there is a need, the Sacramento Children's Home will be there.